Imagine loving your craft so much that it kills you. Painters poisoned by their colors, sculptors crushed by their own creation, writers who literally wasted away at their desk. Art history, it's not just pretty paintings in a fancy museum. It is also filled with tragic, sometimes bizarre stories about creators who gave everything for their work, including their lives. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Candice Bobchak. If you have been here before, you know I love talking about art and design. But today we're taking a more darker and dramatic route because we're talking about artists whose passion for their work literally cost them their lives. This is equal parts of history, psychology, and cautionary tales. Because as much as we romanticize the tortured artist, the truth is it's not always all candles and creative genius. Sometimes it's deadly pigments, relentless obsession, and a tragic sacrifice. Let's start with the obvious one, Vincent van Gogh. He is basically the poster child for suffer for your art. Van Gogh actually battled intense mental health struggles, poverty, and tons of rejection. You know, he only sold one painting during the course of his entire life. Just one. And he created over 900 works. He often painted in feverish bursts of creativity. And in 1890, he shot himself in a wheat field. He was just 37. Some even speculate that the gunshot was actually accidental. Either way, his life ended and his art lived on. And now, many other people profit off of his work. He is living proof that behind the romanticized idea of tortured genius was a very real person struggling. Next up, we have the rock star of the Baroque era, Caravaggio. He's the artist known for painting saints with dirty feet, shadows thicker than velvet, and his art had a very raw human grit to it. But outside the studio, chaos. Caravaggio, he carried his sword everywhere. He was known to pick fights with people constantly. Eventually, he killed a man in a duel, and he ended up spending the rest of his life on the run, bouncing between cities. The entire time, he still created masterpieces under the shadow of exile. And in 1610, at just 38, he died mysteriously. Some say it was a fever, and others whispered that it was murder. Caravaggio lived and died just as violently as what his paintings look like. Now let's talk about Frida Kahlo. She didn't exactly die of her art, but her art was very much born about suffering. After a terrible bus accident at 18, Frida lived with chronic pain and endless surgeries, but she turned all that pain into vivid and surreal portraits. She died at the age of 47, officially from a pulmonary embolism, but some people suspect it was suicide. Frida didn't just make art, she painted her reality, her body, her pain, and even her strength. And in the end, that pain consumed her. And then we have Rothko, the man of the big glowing rectangles. His paintings seemed peaceful, but his life wasn't. He struggled with depression, isolation, and drinking. And in 1970, he was found dead in his studio, surrounded by unfinished work. The man who painted canvases that radiated light and vivid color, he himself was trapped in darkness. It's actually kind of haunting looking at his minimal meditative work and knowing that he himself carried such heavy emotion. Okay, but not every artist's death was super dramatic. Sometimes it was just the paint itself. From the 18th to the 19th century, some artists used pigments that were lead white, arsenic green, and mercury-based vermilion. All of those are straight up poison. Some historians believe that Van Gogh's seizures were worsened by consuming pigments. There are sculptors who breathed in stone dust for years and it just ruined their lungs. Early photographers handled deadly chemicals. So next time that you open Photoshop, thank your lucky stars that you're not sniffing arsenic green. So is it noble to die for your art, or is it tragic? On one hand, we admire the devotion. These artists, they literally gave their life for beauty and expression. Their work outlived them, and it shaped culture for centuries. But on the other hand, it's very heartbreaking. The tortured artist narrative, it could be very dangerous. It glamorizes suffering. Art doesn't require self-destruction. And in fact, I think that thriving artists create thriving art. From Van Gogh's obsession to Caravaggio's destruction, to Frida's pain, Rothko's despair and ingesting toxic pigments, Art and morality have always been intertwined. Okay, but here's the takeaway. We could honor these artists without romanticizing their suffering. We can create powerful work and take care of ourselves. Okay, if you enjoyed this darker dive into art history, please give this video a like, share with your other fellow creatives, maybe they'll enjoy it, and subscribe if you're into stories that connect design, psychology, and culture. I put out videos every week. But that's all I have for you for now. I hope you enjoyed this. Bye-bye.